Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to this episode of What the Fuck America. It's your host, Mr. Mikey V, and once again, we got your boy Rob.
What up, world? What up, YouTube?
Yeah, and as always, we got Sarah Love on the keyboard.
Hey guys.
Hey Sarah, what
What
up?
up?
Good to
What's
see you.
up?
Awesome. All right, guys, so we got a good show for you today. We're going to get into What the Fuck Ever show, right? We're going to talk about a bunch of different things. We're going to talk about a little bit of this. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some good. We're going to talk about some bad. We're going to talk about some
Hold
trash
on. What's
talk.
good, bro? What's good? There ain't shit good going on in the world right now. So, well, I guess
Some things,
there is a couple positives. I guess
they got a
maybe
vaccine, right?
later on in the show. I'm
That's
not saying
good.
that's not really too positive. I don't think
You don't think so?
no,
Why?
I don't, because they haven't really fully tested it yet. The FDA hasn't really fully approved it, but they're pumping it out. You can't be sure of the side effects of it, man. Like 2 years down the road, I think the people were like, they're all about now, and they never think about the future. So they're rushing this vaccine out, and I mean, it
Mhm.
could have really really bad effects 3 years down the road.
It could. I mean, it could. I guess vaccines work differently
I mean,
in
look, dude,
different people.
they're saying that even if you do get it, there's a 99% chance that you'll live. Like it's not killing people that bad to even it's basically like a flu vaccine, man, and people are getting messed up off the flu vaccine. So I don't even get the flu shot. Like,
Well, I heard just last night on a podcast, they were talking about that 80%, Bill Gates said that 80% of the people that take the vaccine will feel some sort of discomfort, sickness, um, possibly heavy chills. But do you, is it worth it though, right? Do you go through that little bit of 2, 3 days of feeling like shit, kind of like you had the flu, or do you get coronavirus and chance it?
It's weeks. The COVID vaccine symptoms, like your body learning how to fight this infection, takes weeks.
So okay, does anybody know? Because I know they said you got to get 2 shots, right, for it to
yeah,
be a complete dose. So do you know how far apart those shots are?
I want to say 6 weeks.
So you got to take
Yeah,
one shot now and then one shot in 6 weeks.
yeah, yes.
Oh
And they
well.
said if you take the first one and don't get the second one, then the first one basically you did it for nothing.
Hmm.
Like it's not gonna, I guess, have the full effect or whatever. And that's just, I don't know, man. It's just, I don't mess with the vaccines, bro. I just don't. It's
I
for the simple fact that they make you sign a waiver stating that if the shit kills you or fuck you up, you can't sue them. You can't do nothing about it.
I guess I don't know. I never went to get a flu shot. I've never. The last time I had any kind of shots like that was when I was in school, like in grade school, like all
Yeah, I
the
haven't had a shot since
regular.
I was like 12, I think.
Yeah, like I don't personally go and get flu vaccinations because I have seen stories where it just doesn't work with some people, and that I guess is what you're talking about, bro,
Like the
is
girl
that
walking, like she took it and now it messed up like her neurological system or something, and
yeah,
then she
she
couldn't
could
walk
only
forward.
walk
She could only walk
backwards.
backwards.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was something weird like that. But yes, it messed her up, dude. She was
or
perfectly
she
normal
couldn't
kid.
walk, but she could run or something. Like it. Yeah. When people get the flu vaccine, they still end up getting the damn flu. So who's to
Well,
say you get the coronavirus or the corona vaccine and you
okay.
might still end
Do you
up
know
with it?
how vaccines work?
Um, Not necessarily, not in depth, I suppose.
Like I don't either, not in depth, but I do know this. What it is basically they inject you. That's what this shot is.
Yeah,
They
with the
inject you
virus. Yeah, I
with
understand.
a very, very minute part of the virus, enough for it to activate your body's antibodies and start getting your body to like start fighting, like it's getting ready for war.
It gets
So
your immune system familiar with the virus so it knows how to defeat it.
I
right.
understand that, but there's other shit in the vaccines. It's not just the damn virus itself. It's some other shit they be putting in the shit too. And that might be the stuff that, you know,
Well, that's what we're learning. With there was 2 cases of people who had allergic reaction in England. Um, Out of the first round of people in the world that got it, like there was a couple like frontline workers that had a reaction. But for one, both of those frontline workers were allergic to something. I don't know what necessarily, but enough to where they both had to carry EpiPens on them.
mm,
So that tells you, the population, a majority of the population in the world doesn't carry an EpiPen, right? So
yeah,
you got to look at it like that. And the people that do just got to like ask a little more questions. But that's what you're scared of, right? Because we haven't actually had the time to test this and see what happens with who, right?
exactly. So
So,
my thing is, I don't believe that they should ever try to make something like this, especially any type of vaccine, mandatory. It should always be the choice, our choice. It's our body. So my thing is, if okay, you have the choice to go get vaccinated, go get vaccinated. You're cured. You're free. You're not going to get the coronavirus, even if I'm not vaccinated, right?
right.
So why can't it just be that way?
Do you think
But
they're
I
going
feel
to
like
make it
I,
mandatory?
I feel like yes, I feel like certain jobs, certain places are going to start implementing it in mandatory. Like whereas I think it's in China or something, you're not going to be able to enter in over there unless you have your vaccination card or something. I just read something
Well,
online
who the
about
fuck
that.
wants to go to China?
I
Fuck
mean,
China.
I'm just saying, but look, it's going to start that way. Like you're not going to be able some jobs, you're not going to be able to work, especially healthcare. You're going to have to get the coronavirus vaccine. So we're going to lose probably a good portion, 40%, 50%, 60% of the healthcare workforce because people aren't going to want to be getting these vaccines.
Well, if their
I
jobs and
believe so.
livelihood depend on it, they might not
Exactly,
make
but
that
see,
choice.
that's wrong. I think people shouldn't have to choose, and it could come down to anywhere. A restaurant, you have to be vaccinated in order to prepare food for people.
Right.
So you're gonna have to make that choice pretty
Well,
soon. And I feel like for the next 5 to 10 years, this is gonna be the way of life, at least, and it's coming to a job near you. That's what I really think.
So,
For
as
real.
far as side effects are
that was a good one.
concerned,
Yeah.
so far what they're saying is basically like the immediate side effects after you get the vaccine is there goes Rob.
Yeah, he's looking for you.
Here I am. Hello.
There she is.
Hey.
Wish granted.
Whew.
Um, so basically, you're looking at flu symptoms,
Right.
body fatigue, headache, muscle pain, chills,
And that's the
fever.
coronavirus.
This is when you get the vaccine.
Oh,
These are like you go to the doctor, your CVS, wherever, your clinic, and go get your vaccine. You go home. And this is common for like parents of young children that are still being vaccinated for other things. You bring them home and they kind of feel yucky for the rest of the day. You give them a little Tylenol, you baby them a little bit, they feel better in the morning.
Right.
This is saying that they're like basically you're gonna have flu-like symptoms for the
It's gonna be
length of time that you
you
would
and
might
have
be
then
the
sick.
five
flu.
years later, they realize they're gay.
That's already happening, dude. It's 2020, bro. People are already realizing they're gay everywhere.
I'm
And
saying
I
it could
do
have
not
it
think it's
could be
related to
something to do with the damn
vaccines.
vaccines. It could. I'm telling
I
you,
do
it
not think
could.
so.
Well,
That's
Man, I
no.
just
these
don't trust
ones
the shit.
these ones are different, and there's I can't remember what they're called, but there's it's like a letter or number sequence that they call it, and it's like a placebo effect of some sort. That's what this vaccine is, because like the flu vaccine, I believe, is not a placebo effect. That's meaning that they actually inject you with the little bit of virus, that's all watered down and tanked down with all kinds of meds or whatever, but they inject it, and that's what that is. Now these ones are like placebo vaccines, which
So you
are,
think they're saying this is the
well, they're
Pfizer
putting a
COVID
set.
vaccine, and they're not? It's not really a vaccine
No,
at all.
no. What it is
But it could put in the mind to cure you. I know what the
well, what it
placebo
does,
effect is.
yes, it's sort of the similar. It's similar to that. It's what it is basically they made up a component of like what would be like the flu shot would be the flu virus, right? They made up a component that mimics like what would be the coronavirus, but not actually the coronavirus. It's a placebo effect. You get what I'm saying? So like with the flu shot, they inject you with a
Why would they
minute,
do that?
because that's how the vaccines work. That's how vaccines work with uh the flu shot, right? They inject you with a small amount of the flu. You feel shitty, but then your body knows how to fight it off. So these placebo vaccines that we got from Pfizer for the coronavirus, because no one wants to inject you with actual coronavirus, right? So it's like a made up cocktail of things that kind of mimic
Yeah,
what the
fuck
coronavirus
that. See, that's what
is.
I'm talking about, man. Like
That's
it's some
that's
weird shit.
that's the problem with the
Different
testing.
shit they're putting in there. A little bit of
So
smallpox, a
you're
little bit of
basically
this, a little
saying.
bit of that.
So you're basically saying they're injecting us with a strain of the flu, but it's not this strain of the flu, and they're just getting us sick and hoping it works.
Sort of, yeah. I mean, but they've tested it though. They've tested it for however long they've been working on it now, for almost what
A month.
um,
month.
a month.
A month.
Well, it's longer than that.
Yeah,
It's been
about
like
20 minutes.
It works.
it's been like
Works.
it's been like 8 months or so, right?
I mean, they
You gonna
have to
take that
work
shit
on
and your face
like
is gonna melt.
making up what it actually is,
Right. So
and
they've tested
then
this and they've
figuring
become
out how they're going to put it together in an injectable
right.
sort of thing, and
And
then
in
they've
their
got to test
tests,
it, and then they've got to tweak it, and then they got to test it
right.
again. So I mean, they've been
So
at this a while.
thus far, it has shown that it's going to work. That a big percentage, like not 90, it's like 95% guaranteed that it's going to work, is what they're saying, because of all the stuff that they've used before, like their synthetic medications that they've used on other things have worked, and they're actually testing this in the lab, with their little tools and stuff, and they watch how it kills the coronavirus. Now we just got to see how it works inside human beings. We know
Yeah,
it's
but only certain human beings, because at least the Pfizer vaccine. I don't know about the other two and where they are in their testing and what they're doing, and do they have release dates or whatever. But with the Pfizer vaccine that everybody's looking at getting, it doesn't apply to people under 16.
No.
It's not recommended if you're prone to allergic reactions. If you are pregnant, it's not recommended.
Yeah, and actually the one about them being 16 is because, like what Rob's saying, they haven't had enough time to test it. They don't know how it
Right. They don't
works
know
in
how it's going to
young
react
children.
to these people. So they're not recommending it because we haven't
So
tested
they're giving
that
it to
yet.
the old people, and now they want
And
to
the
give it to the
caretakers,
prisoners
the
and the
frontline
prisoners as
workers.
well too.
But they're
They wanna give
also
it to the-
saying though that if I think about 75 to 80% of the population gets vaccinated, then it'll create some type of a herd immunity. And
All
now
right, well, I'm not gonna be
everybody,
in that percentile.
If they can get rid of enough of
Me either.
it, it'll die out on its own,
right,
basically.
right. If everybody can block it off, it can only do so much, because then it's going to get the people that are left sick, and they're either going to survive it or they're not. And when they do survive it, they're going to have antibodies, and they're going to be able to, be immune to it for some time, for a little bit of time anyway. And who knows? There was only a few reports, I think, that said that they were finding that people were re-getting coronavirus after they already had it once.
Yeah,
like
I
only a
did hear
few.
something
that
about that. I
people
did
were
hear
having
something.
it twice.
So
But it's kind of like the chicken pox. But the chicken pox is kind of different because
no, chicken pox is
if you get the chicken pox as a kid,
Mhm.
you
would never get it
develop
again.
this, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to get chicken pox again. However, if you had chickenpox as a child, when you become now a senior, you can get the mutated form of it in the form of shingles.
Well, shingles is a form of herpes.
It's a mutated form. It's compared
it
to
is.
chickenpox. Because
Yeah.
if you
Or
have
it's
But
compared
if
chickenpox
you
is a
had
to,
form of herpes
chickenpox
too.
as a child, the next thing you could
it
get
looks like
is
herpes,
shingles.
but on your side.
Yeah, cold
But
sores is a form of herpes too.
it
Like it is.
that I knew. It because shingles you only get on one half of your body at a time because it's something to do with your nerves and like the way they come
Yeah,
down
dude.
your spine, it
They
splits
said I
into
had.
two
They
halves
tried
of
to
the
say I
body.
had that shit when I was like, I want to say 12, 13, or 14 on my back.
Yeah.
Like it was like some
Mhm.
bumps on my back or some shit, and I don't know. They said it was from
It's just
stress
more
and all that. But
common
I
in
was locked
older.
up too. Like I was in and out of these fucking like rehabs and shit, and like crazy wards that my mom tried to put me in all the time, like
Mm.
McDermott and PMIC and Mercy Hospital, all in Council Bluffs.
Right.
Yeah, all those little places. And they said I
Sure
had
you
that
weren't
shit.
getting ate up by like some bugs or something?
I don't know, but that's what they told me. They said it was shingles, and they gave me some shit to rub on it. And it went
Well,
away.
at
But
that point, how
I've
old were
never
you at
had.
that time?
Yeah, I was like, that's what I'm saying. I had to be in between 12 and 14. I want to say
So you think that's past the age limit where they would consider it to be chickenpox?
no, I had
I don't
chickenpox when
know.
I was younger. When I
Oh,
was
you
younger,
did.
so yeah,
So it probably was shingles.
yeah,
Well,
that's what
yeah,
they told me.
that's
But
what he had.
I've
I
never
mean, that's what they
had,
told you.
I've never had an episode or anything ever
But it's
since
weird though.
that.
I thought because weren't
No,
you saying that if you didn't have chickenpox as a child, then you would develop shingles as you get older, right?
No, it happens if you already had chickenpox. You don't get chickenpox again, but you can get shingles.
Hmm,
mm.
that's crazy.
See, and that's what the doctor told me. They said there's a like shit. That's when they told me like shingles was a form of herpes, and like everybody has some type of herpes in their body or
I
some
have
shit. They
heard
were
that you
talking
Mm,
like
about.
carry it and
Yeah,
it's
or
like
yeah,
something, and
activated in some people and it's
yeah,
not activated in others.
yeah.
yeah.
It can be anything
Specific.
from greasy. I heard greasy foods, like if you eat a lot of oily foods, greasy, deep fried
You can
stuff,
like
you
develop
can
like
develop.
activate the herpes.
You can activate a herpes, and
I've
then
never heard
obviously
that.
the sexual one, the sexually transmitted disease, genital herpes, that could be transmitted through sex and through oral sex. So watch out, kiddos. Don't be playing with things you don't understand.
Yeah, but so my theory on the whole, you know
Welcome to
how
his public service announcement.
you
Hey,
know how Hollywood always putting out these damn movies, and some of these movies be telling the truth in them, and it kind of foreshadows the future.
mhm.
So I'm wondering if these damn vaccines that they're giving us is going to turn our nation into a bunch of zombies in a couple of years. What do you think on that, Mike?
Well, I think in a metaphorical term, yeah, I think possibly. I mean, because all right, we haven't done enough testing, in my opinion. I don't think we've done enough testing. That's why if I do take the vaccine, I will probably be in the later waves of people doing it because I want to see how this is all panning out. I do have diabetes. I'm dealing with kidney disease and different things. So it's a little bit of a tough decision for me which side I want to roll with. But yeah, for me, I feel like it could turn people into fucked up people in a sense, and zombies in a sense, I guess, in a way of
Not
because we
like
don't
the
know
ones
how.
in the movies dragging their
No,
legs or
like Walking
gargling
Dead,
blood, but in the mind,
right?
turning
In
them
the
into slave, zombie, conditioned, brainwashed.
mm, well, I don't know about brainwashed. I think we're already all being brainwashed already
Yeah.
by
Well, I mean, it's
by the
all,
media,
but the
by
vaccine,
but
the
what
vac,
I'm saying is how it's going to react with people physically in their body. What does it do to you? Is it going to fuck you up and make you run backwards or walk fucking crippled and and fuck you up in that kind of a way and make you a zombie, make you a vegetable, fuck your mind up.
yeah,
uh
I'm hearing something about nanos being in the vaccine that will react to the 5G.
I ain't
And
heard nothing like that. What is
People
it?
been talking about it. I don't know. I've heard
People been
something about
talking
nano.
about it.
Somebody said that shit the other day. Nanos being in the vaccine that will react to this 5G and like basically control the way
It's
you
crazy
think, your
because
brain waves. And,
I've been hearing a lot about this stupid 5G shit. The There was two people at my job just last night debating the 5G thing. One guy was saying it's not true, and the other guy was saying, I don't know, man. There's a 5G tower in Phoenix, and all the palm trees next to it are bent over and dead. And I'm
yeah,
thinking, like, okay,
yeah.
that's weird,
Well,
but because palm trees don't generally bend over and
I've
die.
been hearing a lot of shit about the 5G as well, man. Like,
So
and
I want
there's
to kind of go see
somebody did
this.
something out here in North Carolina, and they had the one of those radioactive detector things, and they were driving down. Matter of fact, one of the streets I drive down every day,
Mhm.
and there's a tower, and they're getting the radiation off of the tower. Like the levels of it is insane. They're saying.
Yeah, see, I guess I haven't explored it that much. A lot of people,
And they're
are
supposed to, and
saying
they
it's a
have to,
hoax.
nah, because they're gonna have to put these towers up like every 3 blocks because the 5G it like can't go through trees and shit like 4G, 3G, and 4G can. It can't go through because it's like Wi-Fi, I guess, or something. It's a
That would make
it's a
sense
fast.
because
Nah,
I
seriously,
figure
like I
you
seen
would
them
think.
explaining it.
No,
No, it can't go through like brick buildings. It can't go through. So you're gonna need it or like trees or something. They were
but
saying.
isn't that supposed to be a better wave form of some sort or a
Well, it's
faster
faster.
frequency or
It's gonna make the internet like 1,000 times faster. And this is where you get nanotechnology and AI and all that. Cars being able to drive themselves, all that shit is you need to have
Mm.
5G for all that. So that's what they're trying to implement, and they have to put these towers up like every 3 blocks. They're gonna be everywhere, and it really fucks with your head, man. Like the waves coming off of it, it ain't good for the human body.
Hmm. That I mean, I
That's
have
why
heard
that's
that.
why Elon Musk is really trying to turn us into cyborgs connected to this 5G system. Is what we're gonna be like. So we're
Like in
gonna
a
be
good
half
way or a bad way?
tissue. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, man. Being half cyborg or
We already are, man. We got to carry around a cell phone in our pocket. We have
true,
an
true.
extension of technology right in our hands.
So I did look up some of the drawbacks of this 5G network. I hadn't previously. Like it didn't really apply to me because my phone doesn't do that. And if your devices aren't compatible, you can't use it. And
Right.
I don't buy phones all the time. So I don't plan on replacing my phone until I have to.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So it didn't apply to me. I haven't done any research on this, but I just did, and it wasn't hard to find drawbacks to 5G networks.
yeah. So explain
But
some
are they
shit to us.
factual?
Um,
Of course they are.
You're
No, I've seen a lot of
right.
studies on it, man, and they're all saying the same shit, man. It's frying. It's gonna fry you.
so it does say the first thing I found is that it doesn't work on all phones. So you have to have devices that are compatible with this, which means everything that
It's gonna
was
have to
sold before they
upgrade.
came up with it doesn't work. So you have to
Yeah.
buy new devices that now are compatible with 5G.
Mhm.
More expensive subscription costs, uneven coverage, replaces battery capacity for speed. So basically, your phone dies faster by using 5G.
Hmm.
It says few will have
Runs
access
harder.
to the really fast
I guess
5G.
makes sense.
Obstructions can impact connectivity. The range of 5G connectivity is not as great as the frequency waves are only able to travel a short distance. So he was
So
right. Like
yeah,
obstructions like buildings and trees and things are
yeah,
going
it's
to
gonna mess with it. So
affect
they're gonna
it.
have to put these towers everywhere.
Initial costs for rollout are high, limitations of rural access, battery drain on devices, which is a separate article from the original that says basically the same thing. So there's got to be some truth to that. Upload speeds don't match download speeds, and detracting from aesthetics, which probably means that you've got these big fucking towers going up in every neighborhood, and they're an eyesore. It does say
But
there
that
is
makes
some
sense if you can
evidence.
like drive your car. Like if your car is going to be a self-driving car, And this thing is like every
Oh, we
few
already
blocks.
tested those. That was a terrible idea. We really should not go back
but
to
we
that.
don't. But that's what we're saying. Do we need to have these towers up, frying our system and our brain?
It does. That's
just to be
it
able
says
to have a driving car.
there is some evidence
No.
that the new devices and technologies associated with 5G will be harmful to delicate ecosystems. The main component of the 5G network that will affect the Earth's ecosystems is the millimeter waves.
Well, guess what?
That's why it killed the palm trees.
Have a good time trying to explain to the youth who are all fucking hooked on mumble rap and the next new iPhone that's going to have 5G. Try telling them that they need to vote against that. Try telling them that
We don't tell them. We just take
Yeah,
them to go get
right.
vaccinated.
No, I'm saying that's what they want. This is what they want. This is what, see, the young people right now can make a difference on the right things if they were to vote in the right things. But I think society is so fucked up right now because one, the younger generation, I feel like is, you know, they're very smart. Don't get me wrong. They're very smart. Millennials are very smart when it comes to computing. They're very smart when it comes to coding and creating this technology that we're living with now. But what I don't understand is that they don't see the damage that it's causing and that it can cause when they have the facts in front of them, when they have, you know, they know that this can happen, but yet they still want to have the newest iPhone 12 or 20 or whatever. They got to have the, you know, cars driving themselves down the street or whatever it is that we need these towers for, and we need to be doing these things. Like, that's what I don't get. And what I see is I would say our children are stuck in like a generation where we wanted to coddle them so much, because we talked in the last show about broken homes, right? About how our upbringings were kind of fucked up, but we didn't want our kids to go through that. Well, now, because we didn't want our kids to go through that and we didn't let them experience a little fucking failure in life.
Yeah, real life. It's all about the damn
Now,
technology now. And
right now,
internet.
technology is taking over. Like, oh, well, we're the fix all of everything, because now you don't have to worry about that, right? Because here you are, you have it at the push of a button. So it's created this, like, you know, that's why when you think of a millennial, you think of maybe like a 23, 24-year-old punk kid who still lives at home, you know, wears the stocking cap and skateboards and headphones and just listens to his iPhone all day, right? Because he's not worried about anything. His parents are the one that's paying for everything. His parents are the one that's taking care of his bills, that's dealing with the real economic downfall in society. You know, this kid is just scooting along life like, oh, I got my new headphones because my mom bought me headphones. I'm loving this skateboard because my dad hooked me up with this skateboard, and all my friends are into video games. And yeah, man, we're going to sit here and play Xbox, you know, and everything's so comfortable for them. And they're not realizing that that's fucking everything all up. It's fucking everything up, dude. I mean, we already know that just by what we've done to our with our generation. As we became adults, we realized plastics and fucking garbage and pollution and what we've done to this earth in the last 50 years. I mean, and these guys want to still keep going. These younger generations want to keep going, man. They just don't want
Because
to
they need everything at top speed, fast. Everybody's attention span is just short, so you need everything quick. And you're talking about the plastics, like, I mean, the garbage that's collected in the ocean is insane, and I don't even understand how that's possible. Because I've seen a video where it said like it was equivalent to maybe like 20 dump trucks every day dumping trash into the ocean. That's how much trash gets into the ocean every day.
20? No, more like 20,000.
Or is it
It's
20,000?
1.6 million square kilometers is a Great Pacific Garbage Patch.
That's the size. I think I said
that's
something.
just only one of them, though.
It's twice the size of Texas. and 3 times the size of France. And it's part of 5 offshore plastic accumulation zones.
Yeah,
And
all the oceans now, all the oceans in the world now have trash in them. There's a patch in every ocean,
Yeah.
and it's just
Like
getting
5 or
worse.
6 of them, right?
Yeah,
there's 5.
Like huge ones, and then the biggest one is in between. I want to say the Atlantic
it's the
Ocean.
Pacific. The
Yeah,
Pacific trash
is it
patch is the
No, I
biggest.
thought it was the Atlantic and in between America and London or some shit.
Mm.
No,
The biggest one.
I think that's why they call it the Great Pacific Trash Patch, because
Oh,
it's
okay.
the
So,
biggest one. It's the biggest
oh
one
yeah, it's the one in between
in the
Hawaii
Pacific
and
Ocean. Yeah.
is it in
Yeah,
between
it's
Hawaii?
between Hawaii and California.
Yeah, yeah, that one. It's
And
huge.
what sucks is that these plastics take centuries to break down. And they're out there breaking down in the water right now, breaking down into little particles. Animals are picking at shit, and
600 years
the
for some of
sun
that
is beating
plastic
them
to
down, and it's breaking
disintegrate.
down into microplastics, right? Which then the fish there eat, and then we fish the fish out of the
And
sea.
that sucks because
And
I eat a lot of fish, especially a lot of salmon. And after I heard that, I'm like, damn, man, the plastic is actually getting the fish are eating the plastic.
Mhm.
And those chemicals that are in the plastic is in our food by the time it gets on my plate.
Yeah, it breaks down in the fish's the digestive system. It breaks down in their digestive system, and then all those chemicals get dispersed into their bloodstream and everything, and it just fucks them all up, man. Like, it's crazy.
So I think there's no solution to the problem but to slow the world down. Because
Yeah, we got
everybody
to put
wants
like a pause button on something.
yeah, everybody wants everything so fast, and with all these fast food restaurants, which the food in the fast food restaurants normally really aren't good for you in the first place, everybody's in a rush because they always have to go to work. It's a chase for money. So the products that we consume real quick on the go have to be disposable trash, instead of like the old days where they used to use clay, or pottery to drink out of,
Mhm.
or eat out of, which
Which is
really
a lot, which is
is a
reusable.
part. Yeah, it's reusable, but it's biodegradable, or what is that right? Is that right? Biodegradable, where it goes back to the earth. Clay does,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
Yes.
Even if a clay pot smashes, it'll eventually turn back into dust and back into the
Right.
earth. But these plastics are lasting, like you said, centuries, 600,
Yeah.
700, 800 years to, I mean,
Break down.
and then everything we store our foods in, like these aluminum cans, cans normally will probably sink, but
But
unless it
even
got
metal,
packaged
though,
right.
metal puts off some kind of it'll rust in there. It
Yeah,
puts
in
off
our
And there
food
have
and
been
shit,
chemicals.
like,
sharks pulled out of the ocean with metal in them, license plates
yeah,
and
they eat
cans.
them. Yeah,
Right.
cans, like,
And
it's
people
just,
serve shark. I've seen, I mean, I don't know if it's here in the US, but people do eat all kinds of different fish.
yeah. So with the 5G and with the trash piling up on this planet, I think we really need to slow down and maybe rewind ourselves.
They even
Go
said
back to a different type of.
waste management in this country over the last year during the COVID and during lockdown has been astronomical. Nobody talks about those people, the trash companies, really, because I mean, we're all stuck at home, so we're consuming a lot more, probably double of what we normally consume, and all that trash is going somewhere, and somebody is out there picking it up, and they're out there, being essential workers during this whole
I
crisis.
mean, you
And
got to think about the trash like every day. I look at my house, the trash
mhm,
that piles up. We're taking the trash out every 2-3 days. I mean, that's because of everything that we need in the stores have plastic wrap or some type of box or something. It's insane. And just imagine everybody on the freaking planet, 300 million people in America. I mean, that's a lot of trash.
you
Where's
know,
this trash have to
And some
go? We
places
can't
don't even
burn it
give you
all
places don't give you the option to
to
recycle.
recycle.
that's hard.
it's insane. I mean, the in that video,
It's
the
it's
amount
it's
of trash that they said, what was it like? How many tons? 86,000 tons
oh,
or
more than
something.
that. It's like the equivalent of fucking. It's the equivalent weight of 3 empires or
Yeah, they
three
said there was like
Statue of
1.9
Liberties.
trillion pieces of trash in the ocean. That is insane, man. It's
Yeah,
like, just look at us. We have to
candy
sit back and look at
wrappers.
us. If I was an alien and I came to this planet from a different planet and I look down, I'd be like, man, these are some trashy motherfuckers. Kind of like Mike's car. That's what the planet looks like. Just imagine the car
Like Mike's car.
it gets into a car wreck, and all you see is just trash fly everywhere. McDonald's wrappers,
Bro, maybe when
soda
I was
cans,
younger.
cigarette packs. But
He
that's
said
what the world would
cigarette.
look like if you were looking down on it. You would see this trash from space, man.
Yeah,
You could
man,
see
it's
that
horrible.
shit from space.
It's horrible, dude.
And that's crazy. Like, what do we do with the trash, people?
There's trash in space too. There's
Is that
space junk.
that's what yeah, they do. They say that, but that's like
Rob's look at him.
well,
He's
no,
debating
that's like
himself right now, real quick.
that's like the space trash, space junk is supposedly the satellites, the ones that don't work
No, like
anymore or fall
pieces from
apart. Or,
rockets and stuff that have
yeah,
been
all that
left
shit,
behind.
rockets, all
Yeah,
that.
garbage.
Yeah, it is garbage. You're right. It is garbage.
The whole fucking world is
But
garbage. It's a dumpster
we need
fire.
to take this trash and just ship it to outer space.
Well, they are I guess Adidas is like making shoes out of the plastic that comes out of the ocean. And actually
That's
they're
cool.
pretty stylish looking. They're not.
So the good news about the trash is, well, I seen an ad today actually before this show,
Mhm.
uh, about a company. They built this long plastic. I don't know if it's plastic. I think it is plastic, but it's like a
It might be
tubing.
foam. It might be foam.
Yeah, it might be foam or something, but it's huge, man. And they said the rate that they're going, they can clean 50% of the trash out of the ocean in 5 years alone. So that is amazing news because they also have other companies that are joining the team or joining them to help our river clean up our rivers and the oceans. And they're working, like 7 days a week. But this thing they built, I mean, in 10 years, if they can get 50% out of the ocean in 5 years, that's amazing to me because in
Yeah.
10 years we can be trash free from the ocean. So
Yeah, and I think it was like
and,
a young kid or like a young dude in his 20s or something that came up with this whole idea
yeah, it was
from
somebody young, and they
like the
built a whole
Netherlands.
company off of this. And he said they're nation or they're worldwide now, like
Mhm.
their company that they built. It was some type of ad. I
Yeah,
can't
man,
really remember what it was,
we
but
had to do something because it was getting it's gotten to the point now where it's like really devastating our ecosystems bad because
yeah.
I mean all the countries we all got to take
I mean, you
responsibility
guys
for
got to
this.
think though, because the fish, man, if the fish die in the ocean, man, that's like a big chunk of the world's supply of food. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So people starve. And if we're
And not
getting
just
the
that, we're killing the most beautiful thing that
beautiful
we have here
place,
on earth
the
and it's
water.
not even barely explored, not even barely.
Yeah.
Now like I don't know what the number of percentage is, but we have barely scratched the surface of the ocean. And what we can see now is that we're fucking it up, man. Corals across the globe are bleaching. They're turning white, stark white. Um, it's weird. I don't know what's going on, man. They're just dying. They're dying because uh,
Well,
actually,
the bleaching
actually,
I think is due to global warming. I think I heard that that's what that's from.
well, global warming also, you're right, because of the temperature change, but that also comes back to the plastic in the water. There is so much plastic floating around in the water that it actually is fucking with the temperature of the water now. It's playing a part in the temperature change in the water
I would
because
imagine because it's reflecting
right,
so much
it's getting that
sunlight that it's
sunlight.
not, yeah, and it's absorbing that the UV rays and the sunlight that it's not heating up the water
No, that it is
properly.
heating up the water, I think.
Or it is heat.
Yeah, it's making it warmer. So like, so
I can
a
see that.
coral needs to have, a pretty delicate balance of cool water and, whatever it takes, wherever this coral's
Well, that's what I'm
located.
saying. So I would imagine that the trash patch would actually block the sun from hitting the bottom of the, sometimes the rays can get down to the ocean floor.
Well, coral doesn't live
And
in deep ocean.
exactly,
Coral
that's what I'm saying. But if you got
coral lives
trash
in
floating
shallow.
over it, if you got trash floating over it, it's not going to get the correct sunlight coming through.
No, it's not going to get anything.
So it's not going to grow properly, which then in returns doesn't supply uh the other fish with what it needs, and then it kills off the other fish as well.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
because
it
a
causes a
lot of
chain reaction.
the big that's like basically the hubs, the city hubs of the ocean was the corals. Where the corals are at is like the big metropolitan cities
Yeah.
that you see in the United States, like LA and New York and all this different spots, right? That was the coral, the big city. That's where everybody's eating, everybody, there's something to do, or there's fishes everywhere, and when all that stuff dies off, there's nothing else. Because you think about it, think of all the big cities in our country were to just go away, like just stop working, what would happen? There wouldn't be enough food for everybody in the rural areas, right? In the country areas, there wouldn't be enough food for people. People would starve and die. And that's exactly what's going to happen to the ocean. And in
Mhm.
turn, that's what's going to happen to the earth if we don't start coming up with renewable energy sources, if we don't start figuring out fossil fuels and putting that away and getting out of that era, we are living in the future now. So,
I
um,
mean, well, I think the majority of the people on the planet just think, hey, I'm not going to be here, in 60, 80 years or 100 years from now. So what the fuck? But our children and their children, your bloodline will still be here. And you could possibly be reincarnated back to this damn planet. And because of what you did or didn't do while you were here this time.
well, see, and that's another thing with technology these days is crazy because they're finding ways, they're helping people with eyes. You get transplants, you get pla- plastic plastic organs, right? You get fucking a fake heart.
The whole world's gonna be one big plastic ball.
Well, what that does to you is that ensures that you might be able to live for another 20 years, right? So our lifespans, could possibly be growing from here on out because of technology, right?
So
Yeah, and you
maybe
might
they
And
should
never
take
die.
the ocean trash and recycle it into body parts.
they could, if they could figure out ways I'm sure, which they
Well, I'm sure
could.
they're doing something to it
They
with the,
are.
with the shit they're getting
They
out of the
are.
ocean.
They are. They're recycling it, and
Yeah.
I'm sure they're reusing it for lots of good things. Like I said, Adidas is doing shoes. A lot of people, or a lot of companies are doing a lot of different things. But that's what I'm saying is we could we could potentially be living longer now because of technology. So the whole "I'm not going to be here when that happens" thing, that goes out the window. And on top of that, that was the viewpoint of, I think, our parents' generation. We heard that term as young children. Oh, well, that's not, we won't be here when that happens. Well, and we might not be here when that happens, but definitely my kids will be here when that happens.
Yeah.
That's going to affect my children. So that's how close we are to this. That's how close we are to screwing this whole thing up. And it just
Yeah, I
seems
think we
like
just need
nobody
to we
cares,
need to
man.
go backwards, man. We need to start looking at some of the ancient cultures and seeing how they live, because I feel like those ancient cultures didn't live like we live. Like our culture, our time, I feel like we're destroying the planet more than all of the other, civilizations and everything combined. Like we are just so destructive and we're filthy. We're like roaches, like seriously like roaches. Just don't give a fuck.
I've
Like we
always
do
maintained
trash.
that human beings are disgusting in every
They
way.
are.
We're like a virus itself to this planet.
We are. We're parasites.
Yeah.
I just, we need to stop thinking so selfishly. What makes us, why do we need to be so convenienced is the word I guess I'm looking for, right? Why do we got to have a life where there's no inconvenience? You know what I mean? Like our DNA doesn't hold that in our DNA. This is all brand new in the grand scheme of things. Our DNA, we're supposed to be out there hunting. We're supposed to be out there exercising 80% of the time. And I think it's completely flipped on its ass. Like now we are not exercising 80% of the time. We're sitting and we're eating and we're comfortable and we're in these structures and nothing can get us and hurt us now. And, and it's done something to us. It's made us grossly selfish. It's made us unaware of realities. I think everybody's kind of mentally ill in that sense because you really, for real, man. Like, you ever gone out to like the wilderness or sat around a campfire or watched the river or hiked on a mountain and just felt like
Nature
connected,
connected
like
with the world.
right,
Planet.
like you needed to be there. Like it's just such awe-inspiring beauty, and you just for a split second you connect with your actual self. You connect with actual humanity, who we are and what this earth is and what we're supposed to be. You connect to who we are, who we used to be, that hunter running through the forest, and you have this energetic feeling like if you ever like, gone fishing and caught a fish or something, like
You're free. Like you
yes,
really feel free.
you're right. And we've lost that completely. It's gone. We don't feel that way no more. I don't think not enough people. And we do need to put this thing on pause, or we need to slow it down a little bit and figure out where we want to take this,
Because
man.
I still think we can have all the greatness of the technologies, but we definitely need to get the trash under control. And
A
we can
lot of that
change
trash is
things
on
to have
Capitol Hill too, because a lot of these people that are making these decisions are the people who want to line their pockets with money, right?
exactly. And they don't care what it's doing to our planet,
No.
And this is our home. This is one of the only ones we got. So sorry.
There he
There might be
goes.
other. There might. Hey, there
Right?
might be other
Hey, there's
civilizations
somebody.
on different stars and planets, and
I don't know.
we'll save that for episode 20.
And also, what do you think about those monoliths that are just popping up everywhere? What do you
Well, the
say?
one in the UK, some guy fessed up to, and he said he just did it for laugh. Like he just was
Yeah,
like,
you
meh.
got some of these people. They're just
Oh
out here
shit, trying to
do
fuck with
weird
people.
shit.
But they're
Yeah.
like in like all across the earth though. Like, isn't it crazy? Doesn't that make you wonder why or who? People are
I don't
saying
know.
it's like aliens are setting up a portal, bro. They're setting up a way to get here.
Is there actually been a whole bunch of them? I might
Well,
have
the
to
Bro,
look
one
there's
into
in
been
that.
the original
4.
one was removed.
There's been 4. Yeah, and I don't
Huh.
even know who removed it. The one that showed up in Utah, the very first one,
Yeah, somebody
they
removed it already.
they took it out. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know
like days later.
authorities, like they
I don't know.
or just
No, nobody
anybody.
knows. They were just like, we showed up and it was gone.
Yeah, see, and then there was the one in the UK, and then there's
The
And
one
they're
in the UK, somebody fessed up to though.
they're
and
like
then 2
metal
other
or
places.
something, aren't they? They're like
Yeah.
metal, shiny looking monoliths.
Yeah.
Man, I seen this funny meme of a piece of tin roof, and like it was like propped up against the fucking tree, and it
I
looked like it
saw
was
that.
standing up. It was like the redneck monolith. That's hilarious. But yeah, man. So I don't know. We need to figure out what we're doing here, and we need to figure it out fast because we are definitely out of time. In the grand scheme of things, this
Out
is
of
it.
time, out of control.
Out of time and out of control, bro. Like everybody needs to get their head out of their ass and start working towards, our own benefit, humanity. And I mean everybody, the whole world. But wouldn't hurt to start here at home, right? Fucking crazy ass motherfuckers are wanting to fight each other, whatever happened to love thy neighbor?
Now it's fuck thy neighbor.
Yeah, right. And his wife. Oh shit, man. Well, anyway, what do you think is going to happen, Rob? Where do you think we go from here, huh?
To be honest, man, I'm not seeing any hope for the world right now, man. Check back with me in about a year, maybe 6 months.
I'm gonna check back with you every fucking week.
Every week. I'll probably tell you the same thing next week, man. It's just it's out of control right now.
It is.
Election fraud, the vaccines, the shutdowns, the lockdowns, just the whole money system. It's all.
I heard on Joe Rogan's podcast the other day that they were anticipating that this could be like a repeat of 100 years ago. You know how they had the Spanish flu and people were all locked up and locked down for about a year, 2 years. And then all of a sudden you had the roaring 20s is exactly what they were saying. It's like,
see, with the Spanish flu, it wasn't
that was killing kids though.
COVID thing's going to play out. Well, no. The Spanish flu was actually it was real, and it was actually way worse than what we have now with the COVID. But I feel like they're going to drag the COVID out. I feel like the elite have another agenda here with this particular pandemic, and they're making a buck ton of money off of it. Bill Gates and all of them. They're going to drag this thing out. They like the control. They're going to keep us locked down. They're going to be COVID 20, COVID 21, COVID 22, COVID 23. I mean, it's going to keep going.
Well, I guess we'll have to see and ride it out, man. We'll just have to see and ride it out and see where it takes us. That's why I feel like, this election year was the biggest election year ever. More people voted in this election than ever before.
But I believe Trump should have got it. I think America needs to take action on any type of fraudulent thing that is supposed to be important, and there's plenty of evidence. You can research it yourself.
Well, with what's sad about that,
Trump is for the Constitution, Biden and Harris is not, and that's
what's sad about it is that you had this record high of voters out, and a majority of them were just doing it to get Trump out of office. They didn't even think about whether it was a good idea or a bad idea. They just didn't like Trump and they don't want him in. And I think that's unfortunate that we as a nation hit the highest numbers of voting at the polls but we did it out of spite. I feel like we did it just because we didn't want someone there. We didn't do it to make America great. We didn't do it to better our country. We did it to get somebody out of office. And that's unfortunate, man, because if we were to do that every year and actually touch on the issues, 5G, pollution, crime in our capital, I think we'd be way better off. So, but anyway, you guys let us know what you think. Go ahead and drop a comment below. Let us know what you guys think about all this and how it's affecting you and if it affects you. Rob thinks that the world is going to be trashed here in the next, 5-10 years, and we're all going to die anyway. So Rob seems to think so. Oh, God.
Revelation Rob.
He's revelating to you guys. Anyway, you guys
get your shit together, people.
Get it together. Yes. You guys can check us out at What the Fuck America YouTube. You can also check us out at our Facebook at What the Fuck America Podcast. And you can also check us out at our Twitter at What the Fuck America 19. I want to thank you guys for being here with us today. Enjoy your holiday season. Enjoy your family. Love each other. And keep the earth clean. And stop fighting. And let's love each other. Okay? All right, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you next week.
balls.
And 3 times the size of Branch.
People are already realizing they're gay everywhere.
I'm
And
saying
I
it
do
could happen.
not. It's whatever the fuck. It's the whatever the fuck episode. We don't know what we're talking about. We're just gonna talk. Go get
So,
your damn coffee out the microwave so it stops beeping.
Balls.
You and your red Solo cup.
I think Sarah has your balls in her fanny pack.
Red Solo cup.
I don't have no damn fanny pack. The fuck?
What was he saying the other day? About
That your wife,
what?
that your wife had your balls in her
Who has whose balls in whose hands, brother?
in my purse.
That ain't what I'm fucking talking about.
It was the purse.
Hey, you think we talk about the smoke? I'm over here talking about balls.
He probably knows. He probably knows. He's being a dick.
Put those clippets out. Maybe I'll figure out 2 conversations out of each podcast, and then just throw them in.
Fucking thing. I'm not. Pissing me off. Put your headphones on, motherfucker. It's old, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, he thinks I'm talking about crumbling up.
I can hear you guys.
Oh,
I can hear
fucker.
you out of the fucking headphones. The next episode, Rob's fucking shit's gonna be all taped together.
Just got to work with it a little bit. Yeah, all right. So make it. It keeps. Duct tape on the microphone.
I'm just waiting. I gave you in the face.
Reminds me of the sea turtle. The sea turtle from Nemo. The patch, man. The fucking patch. You want to ride the patch with me, bruh?
All your gonads and stuff start flopping out.
Gonads.
Just how you know I'm getting fat. Look at, you can see I got jowls like a fucking bulldog. It's gonna be a fondue time. Fondue time.
I got wrinkles.
Am I getting old? Or is that old? Is that old or fat?
Probably old.
Fat.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
Well, I guess they left me here alone. I had you guys though, right? You guys will hang with me, right? Right? Hey, where you going? Hey, wait, just wait, come on, please. No, don't go. Come on.